My name is Catherine Archibald, and I am a professor of law. I'm honored to serve as the Grand Marshal for this commencement ceremony to begin the 2025 graduation of the University of Detroit Mercy School of Law. Please welcome some of our distinguished alumni who lead the Juris Doctorate degree candidates, the faculty and administration of the School of Law, the president of the Detroit Mercy Law Alumni Association, the vice presidents, deans, and trustees of the university, the commencement speaker, the dean of the University of Windsor Faculty of Law, the dean of the School of Law, the president of the university, and our honored guests. Please remain seated during the academic procession. Graduation is a formal academic ceremony. The university and the School of Law request that all guests display appropriate respect for our graduates and the graduation ceremony. Please silence all electronic devices. Good afternoon. Pamela Zakowski, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs of the University, begins this afternoon's graduation.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the University of Detroit Mercy, it is my honor and joy to welcome you to this year's commencement ceremony for the School of Law. Today we gather to recognize an extraordinary achievement, the successful completion of a rigorous legal education that demands intellect, integrity, and perseverance. Whether you are earning your Juris Doctor from Detroit Mercy or a dual JD from Detroit Mercy through our unique cross-border partnership with the University of Windsor, you are a proud tradition of lawyers committed to the pursuit of justice, service to others, and professional excellence. To our graduates, you arrived here with ambition and leave with ability. You have grown not only in legal knowledge, but in ethical discernment, resilience, and leadership. We are confident that you are ready to meet the urgent challenges of our time with compassion, courage, and a steadfast commitment to justice. To the family members, friends, spouses, supporters, siblings who stood beside these graduates through late nights, long papers, and countless exams, thank you. Your love and encouragement has been essential to their journey. To our dedicated faculty and staff, and to the leadership of the School of Law, thank you for challenging and mentoring these students, preparing them for the responsibilities and rewards of the legal profession. This ceremony, and I'm sure you'll hear this from other speakers, marks not just an end, but a beginning of lives shaped by learning, values, and purpose. In the spirit of our Jesuit and Mercy traditions, may each of you use your legal training not only to advocate, but to lead, not only to interpret the law, but to pursue justice. Congratulations, we are so proud of you.
Thank you, Provost Zakowski. Father Charles Oduki, Vice President for Mission Integration, will give the invocation.
As a Catholic university in the Mercy Jesuit tradition, we are a diverse, inclusive learning community. That is why I invite all to join or follow in the offering of the invocation in the language of the faith tradition that best speaks to your heart. Let us pray. In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shalom, Om Shanti, Shalom. Almighty and eternal God, you who has been revealed to us through the variety of languages and faith traditions of members of the Detroit Mercy family, with joy and gratitude, we invoke your name in blessing on the achievements of law graduates of class of 2025. Bless their families and friends, all who have accompanied them in their legal education, and those who give of themselves and their resources to make the gift of a Detroit Mercy Catholic education possible. Creator God, Mother and Father of us all, we hold in our hearts the vulnerable and victims of violence and conflicts in our world. Dear God, today as we mission these graduates, anoint them with wisdom and skill so that they become co-healers with you, dedicating themselves to address the root causes of conflicts, poverty, ignorance, and disease. May the new graduates continue to learn and draw inspiration from the values of their Detroit Mercy education, to be persons of integrity, respecting the dignity of all, collaborating for the common good, and to be in solidarity with the vulnerable and historically marginalized. May they be merciful and hospitable to others, always seeking a path that leads to reconciliation, justice, and peace. We pray for ourselves here present and those following online, that we may enjoy each other's company, find inspiration in the words of our speakers, and in the festive symbolism and rituals of this commencement ceremony. Oh yes, indeed, we sing a song of joy for the wonder of creation, the beautiful diverse persons that we are, and achievements of the law class of 2025. Shalom, Dhanyawad, Shukran Jazilan, gracias. We thank thee, O God. In your holy name we pray, amen.
Thank you, Father Oduke. Please stand and join our alumnus, Claire Zawicki, in singing the national anthems of Canada and the United States of America. Please be seated. Please welcome Dean Nicholas Schreck.
Well, good afternoon. Bonjour. Welcome, bienvenue, to the graduation ceremony for Detroit Mercy Law Class of 2025. Applause is appropriate, yeah. You'll have more opportunities, but that makes me feel good. So, we are pleased to have with us today President Donald Taylor and Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs Pamela Zarkowski. We're also joined by members of the President's Council, members of the Board of Trustees, the Law Alumni Association, the Association of Black Law Alumni, and other distinguished guests. And of course, we are especially pleased to have the families and friends of our graduates here with us today. Law school is challenging, and we know that you all have contributed to the success of our graduates through your support and encouragement, and for that we sincerely thank you. Class of 2025, we are all here today to celebrate you. So another round of applause for our graduates. This is a joyful celebration where we honor graduates from our JD and dual JD programs. Getting to this point is no small feat, and I commend you all for your perseverance and your achievements. We're gathered at a time of great importance for the legal profession, the independence of the judiciary, and the rule of law. Most of you will soon seek admission to the bar in the United States or Canada. Speaking for a moment to those of you who hope to practice in the United States, I urge you to remain vigilant and steadfast in upholding the rule of law while engaging in zealous ethical advocacy. We can and should disagree from time to time, but we must respect the rules, use evidence-based arguments, and agree that facts are facts. Those of us privileged to practice law in the state of Michigan swear or affirm in the first two lines of our lawyer's oath that we will, quote, support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Michigan, and will maintain the respect due to courts of justice and judicial officers. I'm sure you remember reciting those words at your law clinic swearing-in ceremony, where you all affirmed the oath to practice under attorney supervision as law clinic students. When I took that oath for the first time as an attorney, it was meaningful and powerful to me, knowing that I was joining a storied profession in a country bound by a constitution. A few months down the road from now, many of you will swear that same oath. I hope you will pause and reflect on the importance of our Constitution and the rule of law. While our laws have never been perfect, we have collectively agreed to follow a system to amend, change, or pass new laws in adherence to the procedures and guardrails present in our Constitution. Remember the words of the preamble of the U.S. Constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. That's the goal. We certainly have work to do, and I am heartened to know that you all, as complete lawyers, will work in furtherance of justice. In preparing for today, I was thinking back on one of my mentors who told me that, in his view, a JD is sort of like a ticket. It's a ticket for all sorts of jobs and opportunities, including the practice of law. It's a ticket to a fulfilling career, a ticket to a stable income and upward mobility. So I got to thinking about tickets, and then my mind drifted to one of our country's most famous lawyers, Abraham Lincoln. I remembered seeing somewhere an image of the wallet that was carried by President Lincoln when he was shot at Ford's Theater. I looked it up, and according to the Library of Congress, which as of today I think is still functioning, and confirmed that when President Lincoln was shot, among other things, he carried a brown leather wallet lined in purple silk with compartments, and the compartments were labeled notes, U.S. currency, and railroad tickets. While we sadly, in my view, don't have much need for railroad tickets in our wallets day to day in Southeast Michigan, as lawyers we carry our ticket to practice law always, and we can decide when and where to use it. Now, I like to travel, and I'm one of those people that I must try out the public transportation system in whatever city I'm visiting. I've noticed that in some cities, you purchase a ticket or a transit pass, and perhaps you use it on a subway or a bus or a tram. But before you use the ticket or a pass, in many cities you must validate it, using a machine or by visiting a transit agent. Relatedly, the ticket that you all now have in your pocket, the JD or JDs for our duals, needs to be validated. You validate your ticket by admission to the bar after a licensing exam, articling, character and fitness review, etc. Sitting here today, you all have that JD ticket, a ticket that can lead to a career at a law firm, starting your own practice, going on to serve as a judge, elected official, or any number of exciting career paths. But to practice law, you must validate that ticket. If you don't validate, you can't practice law, you can't ride, or you risk significant fines and punishment. So while today we celebrate your laudable achievements, it's time for many of you to focus on validating that JD ticket. The good news is, we know what steps are needed to pass the bar exam. Follow our Power of One program. Complete your bar review vendor assignments. Do the thousands, yes, thousands of practice multiple choice problems, and practice your essays, meet with your faculty bar mentor. Validating your JD ticket takes work. It's hard, but you all can do it. If you follow the Power of One program and meet the benchmarks, you will put yourself in a great position to pass the bar exam and get that license to practice law. You have many days of studying ahead of you, but you can do it. This is where we need the help and support of all of your friends, family, and partners once again. Supporters of our graduates here today, note, they aren't done yet. Please be there for our graduates as they embark on this next part of the journey. Graduates, you all have the tools, you have the system map. All you need to do is put in the time and effort to get to your destination with that validated JD ticket. It truly has been my pleasure to serve as your dean this year, your final year of law school, first as your interim dean in the fall and then as dean this semester. You've continuously made me proud, from academic excellence to success in your moot court competitions all around the country, to bringing in top scholars for our law review symposium, from countless student organization events, which I tried to attend as many as possible, sorry if I missed one of your events, and service projects. You contributed so much to the law school over the course of the year. I hope when you have a moment to reflect on your time in law school, you'll see it as a testament to your smarts, energy, perseverance, and abilities. You're not exactly like other attorneys who graduated before, and future attorneys will no doubt be different and will have varied experiences compared to your own. But you join a long, proud line of alumni and attorneys that have gone through this rite of passage. You've had a special law school experience because of this, we'll just call it unique time in history, but you're also distinguishable from other attorneys in the US and Canada because of where and how you've been educated. At Detroit Mercy Law, we educate the complete lawyer. And as you leave us now to begin your career as complete lawyers, you've accrued legal knowledge, honed analytical skills, you've represented real clients, drafted memos, and passed exams. You've learned about the law's weaknesses and its promise. Reflecting on your education up to this point, it's important to remember that you have acquired the tools to bend that arc of history towards justice. As complete lawyers, you are equipped to solve problems, create fairer systems, protect rights, and treat others as you would want to be treated. You've learned from the Jesuits and Sisters of Mercy to care for each other and yourselves, including care for the excluded and outcasts of our world. Care for our planet, our common home. You've learned to listen to the cry of the earth and the cry of the poor, as the late Jesuit Pope Francis instructed, and now you have the skills and training to respond to that cry. I've witnessed many good, decent, and thoughtful acts from you, our graduates, and I can't wait to hear about all the ways that you will use your validated JD ticket to advance justice, serve our profession and community, and continue to make Detroit Mercy Law proud. Best wishes to each of you, and heartfelt congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Schreck. It is now my privilege to present the President of University of Detroit Mercy, Dr. Donald B. Taylor.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to this great day of celebration. To our students, alumni, faculty and staff, deans, families, friends, and honored guests, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs Pamela Zarkowski, distinguished trustees, good afternoon and welcome to the 2025 commencement exercises at University of Detroit Mercy School of Law. It is my honor to present the class of 2025. I want to take a moment to honor those of you joining us today in person or virtually, in celebration. As every member of the class of 2025 knows, the road to this celebration has not been traveled alone. The support of family and close friends, along with others, has been invaluable in helping the graduates achieve this dream. At this time, I ask family, friends, staff, faculty, and anyone who has played a role in supporting the Titans to please stand so we can recognize your efforts. Parents, grandparents, spouses, siblings, please stand and be recognized. I also want to wish all the mothers a wonderful Mother's Day this weekend. What a great way to kick off the Mother's Day celebration. I also want to recognize members of the class of 2025 who are the first members in their family to earn a Juris Doctorate degree. If you're a first-gen student, please stand and be recognized. I know your story. I was once in your place. I was the first person in my family to even attend college, let alone to graduate. You're an example for others in your family and your community to follow the path of education, because you never know where you might go and where you might lead others. Be proud and give back by helping others understand what this accomplishment can mean for them. The members of this graduating class come from across the world and down the street. They reflect the diversity of our local communities and our world, and they have brought a range of perspectives and experiences that enrich the ways we live and learn together. We are proud of the many different backgrounds, cultures, and faith traditions represented in our graduating class. Students, your presence has made a difference here, and we have all learned from each other in important ways. You are not the same person you were when you first stepped onto campus. Today, you are much, much more. Our mission says we integrate the intellectual, the spiritual, the ethical, and social development of our students. We see that in so many of you. You have weathered tough final examinations, demanding professors, the stress of balancing work and life and classes, but you didn't let any of that deter you from your goal. Indeed, we know some of you suffered losses that changed your lives. But you fought and you studied, you worked and you learned, and you're leaving the institution a fuller person, a stronger person, one who knows what you want and how to get it. The charisms of our founding sponsors, the Society of Jesus, the Jesuits, and the Religious Sisters of Mercy fit so beautifully together because St. Ignatius and Venerable Catherine Macaulay, who lived centuries apart, different parts of the world, understood the value of learning and of God's place in the world. Graduates, as you embark on this next phase of your journey, know that you carry the fire of the Jesuits, and you also carry the light of the Mercy Sisters, by which others will see. You have a resilience based on our sponsors' ideals that you will get you through anything that comes your way. After the events, both small and large, of the last few years, you should know you can rise to that challenge. We know you can do it because we see you doing it every day on campus for our community and in your fields. Today and moving forward, it's time for you to shine. This celebration is a culmination of years of hard work, but it's also a new beginning. Whether you're starting a career as a lawyer or advancing in your profession, it's a magical time for each one of you. Each of you is on the verge of your future. Each of you is empowered with the tools for success. The possibilities are endless, and remember, you are a Titan, and the world needs Titans. And my final message to you, graduates, today comes from that great philosopher, Mr. Spock of Star Trek. May you live long and prosper. Godspeed, and go Titans.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's commencement speaker, the Honorable Senator Gary Peters. Gary Peters has dedicated his life to public service, combining a rich educational background with a career that includes positions in business, academics, and politics. Peters is a graduate of Alma College with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. He furthered his education by earning a Master's of Business Administration from the University of Detroit, a Juris Doctor and Master's of Arts in Political Science from Wayne State, and a Master of Arts in Philosophy from Michigan State University. For 22 years, Peters worked as a financial advisor, serving as an assistant vice president at Merrill Lynch and a vice president at Payne Weber. He also served as the third Griffin Endowed Chair in American Government at Central Michigan University from 2007 to 2008. Peters served in the United States Navy Reserve from 1993 to 2008, achieving the rank of lieutenant commander. During his service, he supported Operation Southern Watch in the Persian Gulf, and after September 11th, 2001, he again served our country overseas. Peters began his political career at the local level, serving on the Rochester Hills City Council from 1991 to 1993. He went on to represent Michigan's 14th District in the State Senate from 1995 to 2002. And a quick bit of Shrek trivia here. Senator Peters sponsored my future wife, Liz, as a state Senate page back in 2000 while she was a student at Michigan State University. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, you remember. It's okay, good. I promised her I'd give that shout out. So, during his tenure in the Michigan State Senate, Peters authored and passed more bills signed into law than any other member of his party. He continued his public service as the commissioner of the Michigan Lottery from 2003 to 2008, where he implemented initiatives that significantly increased revenue for the state's educational programs. In 2008, Peters was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, representing Michigan's 9th Congressional District, where he served for 3 terms. In 2014, Peters was elected to the U.S. Senate. During his tenure in the Senate, Peters has served on several key committees, including Appropriations, Armed Services, Commerce, Science and Transportation, and Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs, where he's held leadership positions and focused on issues such as national security, infrastructure, and government oversight. Throughout his career, Peters has been recognized for his pragmatic approach to governance. He was the second most bipartisan senator in the 116th Congress from 2019 through 2021, according to the Bipartisan Index. Senator Peters has a distinguished record of legislative accomplishments marked by bipartisanship and effective lawmaking. Senator Peters has exemplified a commitment to values that resonate with the missions of the Sisters of Mercy and Jesuit institutions, advocating for sustainability, social justice, women's empowerment, and equitable treatment across various facets of society. He's been a steadfast advocate for Michigan, focusing on economic development, veterans affairs, and environmental protection. Many of us here today are from the Great Lakes region, and I want to give a special thanks to Senator Peters for his legislative successes working to protect and restore our Great Lakes. A few things you might not know. As a state senator, Peters worked to ban oil drilling from under the Great Lakes. As a congressman, he responded to constituent concerns when piles of an oil refining byproduct, petcoke, were stored in the open on the Detroit River without a permit. The petcoke dust was so bad that it not only inundated homes and businesses on the Detroit side, it blew across the river into Windsor. Peters responded with community meetings to elevate local voices, called press conferences to draw attention to the problem, and worked with federal, state, and local agencies to address it, including federal funds for the research and study of potential environmental and health impacts from this material. As a U.S. Senator, Peters responded to the risk of an oil spill in the Straits of Mackinac by working with the Coast Guard and passing legislation requiring the oil pipeline be shut down when storms or high waves on the Straits would make a spill response impossible. Peters convened the Senate's first ever hearing on PFAS, or forever chemicals, and he passed into law a ban on the use of PFAS firefighting foams on military bases, which have been a key source of PFAS-contaminated waters in our state. And he's led efforts to establish clear standards on cleaning up and limiting exposure to these toxic chemicals. These are just a few examples of Senator Peters' leadership on Great Lakes issues. And now, with sincere thanks for his service and leadership, I am pleased to introduce the Honorable Gary Peters, U.S. Senator from the great state of Michigan. Senator Peters.
thank you, Dean Chuck, for that very generous introduction, and certainly to recognize Dr. Taylor and Dr. Zakowski, all of the distinguished trustees and alumni, guests and graduates that are here. It is certainly an honor to be here because today is a celebration day. Let's remember that. And I tell you, I know the University of Detroit Mercy already is one of the best educations in the country, and it's just exciting to see how this university continues to move forward and strive for greater excellence each and every day. I will say, without question, that the University of Detroit Mercy is indeed a wonderful community. And I can say that from firsthand experience. I was lucky enough to be a part of this community, and I take great pride in saying that I'm a University of Detroit Mercy alum. And while earning my MBA here, I learned the critical business skills that were important for my career. But more importantly, I learned how to make decisions grounded by ethical and moral principles. This school has a very special place in my heart, and I'm certain that it's going to have a very special place in your heart for the rest of your life. So now let me begin my formal remarks by just saying to the University of Detroit Mercy Law School class of 2025, congratulations, you made it! Your years of hard work have finally paid off, and you will soon walk across this stage, and I'm excited to see when you receive your degree and enter a new and exciting chapter in your life. And I know I speak for the entire university community. I speak for your friends that are here, your loved ones that are here, your families. We are so proud of these students. Are we proud of these students? The education that you have received here has given you a unique foundation as well as a unique perspective. Not only have you received a world-class legal education, many of you have also had a very unique opportunity to participate in the dual license program with Canada that Detroit Mercy Law offers. And I'm proud to say it's the only one that does this in the entire United States. And I think it reaffirms the fact that Michigan and our nation has a very unique and important relationship with Canada, our neighbor and our closest ally. And because of this, all of us know that the friendship that we have between the Canadian people and the American people is very special, and we will do everything in our power to keep that friendship strong and vibrant in the future. In your time here, you have certainly received an unparalleled legal education. And because you are now graduates, you will go on to do great things. And why? Why will you do that? Well, it's because you have learned to think critically. You've learned to analyze information and build a case. You have learned how to advocate on behalf of a client. You've learned the professional code of ethics and conduct to guide your work. And most importantly, you've learned how the rule of law is the very bedrock of our constitutional democracy. Before you receive your license to practice law, you will swear an oath to uphold the Constitution. The rule of law is sacred in our constitutional democratic republic. Our country's founders defeated a king in order to create a government where no one is above the law, everyone is equal under the law, and everyone is required to follow the law. But let's be clear, the rule of law, the most treasured principle, is just an idea. And the Constitution is just a piece of paper if we, the people, do not continually fight to uphold these principles, principles that so many Americans have shed their blood to defend. And while every citizen has an important role to play, lawyers have a sacred responsibility to be tireless defenders of the rule of law. You are fully trained to become the leaders that our country needs today and the leaders that we need into the future. As an attorney, you will become an officer of the court. And as officers of the court, you will be duty-bound to protect the independence of the judicial system and the legal profession from forces wishing to undermine it. Our democratic republic has been a shining example for the world for nearly 250 years. But we should never, ever take anything for granted. I think we must be mindful of the very famous words of Benjamin Franklin. When a woman pressed him on the new government the Constitutional Convention had just passed, she asked, "Mr. Franklin, what have we got? A republic or a monarchy?" And he replied, "A republic if you can keep it." A republic if you can keep it. There's no question we're living through one of the most polarized times in U.S. history. Partisan fighting involving the legislative and executive branches of government are certainly not new. We've seen this before. And I would argue that spirited disputes between people with very strongly held opinions is a sign of a healthy democracy, as long as red lines are not crossed. Our founders certainly expected there would be vigorous debate, but they were concerned that political factions, if unchecked, could tear the republic apart, especially during periods of hyperpartisanship. This is why they made the judicial branch a co-equal branch of government, to check the excesses of the legislative and executive branches when it occurs. We count on, and we must have, an impartial judicial branch to safeguard the rule of law during turbulent times. And as lawyers, we have a unique position to forcefully defend judicial independence. As lawyers, we know that you can disagree with a court ruling while still respecting the judicial process and the people who carry it out. That's what it means to follow the rule of law. As lawyers, we know we must abide by a judge's ruling or a court order, even if we intend to appeal it, and not attack their integrity or their impartiality just because we may disagree. As lawyers, we know that every person has the right to seek legal representation, and we should never penalize lawyers or law firms for carrying out that work. And as lawyers, we know that we must uphold these core legal principles to maintain a healthy democracy. So I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that each and every one of you, as you are graduating from this incredible law school, will go on to have a great career. But in the years ahead, I hope you will strive to have more than just a successful professional career. I hope that you will participate in and be a proud defender of our nation's judiciary and the rule of law. Graduates, we are all counting on you. And I have every confidence that your steadfast leadership will make a difference and you will make us all proud. So let me say once again, congratulations. As you leave here today, you will have endless opportunities before you. I cannot wait to what you do next. May God bless you on your future journey. Thank you.
Senator Peters, again, on behalf of Detroit Mercy Law, our community, thank you for being our commencement speaker for the 2025 graduation. Your words and your service inspire all of us. Thank you again.
candidates for the Juris Doctor degree. Please stand.
Dr. Taylor, on behalf of the faculty of the School of Law, I present these candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor and respectfully recommend that this degree be conferred on them.
Candidates, please proceed to the stage to receive your academic hoods from the faculty and alumni of the School of Law and your diplomas from the president of the university. Candidate names will be read by Professor Adam Wright.
Good afternoon. As I read the names of our candidates, please hold your applause so that each candidate can be fully recognized. Thank you. Isan G. Abdugani. Alex William Acker. Taktam M. Labadere. Alexis Michelle Amy, magna cum laude. Andrew Antonoff, cum laude, who will be hooded by Nicholas Borden Sanford, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Peyton Renee Armstrong, cum laude. Austin S. Osmar, cum laude. Natanelia Osmaro. Samantha Elizabeth Aula, who will be hooded by Alexandria Taylor, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Natalie Azar. George Sophocles Bedos, cum laude, who will be hooded by Kenneth Nelson, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Zain Bazi. Mackenzie Renaud Beckett, magna cum laude. Daniel Bernhard, cum laude. Kendra Page Brooks, cum laude, who will be hooded by the Honorable Tina Brooks Green, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Hunter James Broski, summa cum laude. Antonio Mario Capuzzi. Maxwell Z. Cavalier, magna cum laude. Danielle N. Shabani, cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Cipriano, magna cum laude. Michelle Sereno, summa cum laude. Guido Vincent Constantino, cum laude, who will be hooded by Christina Constantino, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Natalie Navarro Crane, magna cum laude. Lindsay Beth Densmore. Brooke Bailey Drbicki, cum laude. Sally Elgadoff, cum laude. Anis Daniel Elsibai, magna cum laude, who will be hooded by Aman Maslam, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Harley M. Ennis, magna cum laude. Enoch I. Herbert. Allie Jean Ferris, cum laude. How you doing? Vincent Samuel Fazio II, magna cum laude. Peter James Florian, cum laude. Julia Carolyn Fernari, who will be hooded by Johnson Franzo, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Marlo Freifeld, cum laude. Garrett M. Fridline. Keaton B. Frone, magna cum laude. Samaya Santos Garza. Darby Poder Gilkinson, cum laude. Jasmine Sheree Good, who will be hooded by Tanisha Davis, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Lauren Elizabeth Green, cum laude. Claudia Majid Hamoud, who will be hooded by the Honorable Susan Dejaba, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate, and her mother. Rascal Hermes, who will be hooded by Rami Aro, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate, and her fiance. Patrick J. Hessen, cum laude, who will be hooded by the Honorable Jennifer Coleman Hessen, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Alan P. Hester, summa cum laude. Natalie Hood. Fatmi Hussein Juni. Candace T. Cadis, who will be hooded by Rita Rochot, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Rihanna Carjo. Marion Karkava, who will be hooded by Alexandria Taylor, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Kaylee Kellyher, who will be hooded by Professor Michelle Richards, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Christopher Joseph Lago. Stephanie Renee Ladis, magna cum laude. Craig Adam Luca, cum laude. Zahara Jane Madaha. Theater Majid. Vincent Case Mana. Brian Shamir Martin, cum laude, who will be hooded by the Honorable Terrence Keefe, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Corey J. McLaughlin. Jonah John Grove, cum laude. Corey G. McPherson. Maida Madar. Stephen Patrick Mershart, magna cum laude. Alessia Mia Montemarie, magna cum laude. Maya Joseph Marani, who will be hooded by the Honorable Susan Dabaja, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Mecca K. Muhammad, who will be hooded by Larry Johnson II, Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Heather Williams Muir, cum laude. Michelle Nader. Bridget Nager, who will be hooded by Professor Michelle Williams Richards, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Manya Deep Kaur. Fatma Haisam Nusar. Michelle Rupnaren. Lara Neshwat. Alexandra Roxanne Nafsinger, summa cum laude. Avon O'Mara. Victoria Ostrander. Angela Pazay, cum laude. Alyssa Michelle Palazzolo, who will be hooded by Lauren Peters, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Mariana Palushai. Hannah Eve Passer. Sabrina Petrucci, cum laude. Jacob Perwin. Kyle Richardson. Carlise Nicole Rios Santiago, cum laude. Annalise Lauren Robinson, cum laude, who will be hooded by the Honorable Terrence Keith, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Alicia Maria Rodriguez, cum laude. Andrew James Ross. Marie Ruzinski, cum laude. Jennifer Ruiz, who will be hooded by Veronica Beltran, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Nathan Alden Vandekar. Caroline Elizabeth Weaver. Kendall Russell Adams. Brianna Andrea Ciroli, cum laude. Rachel Leafy Dembinski Schulte, magna cum laude. Mariana Christine Seal, cum laude. Haley McFarland Seifert. Sydney Albert Sang. Kelly Sheehy. Antonio Valentino Sheena, cum laude. Badri Yono Jr., magna cum laude. Ruwa Rafat Zaglul. Saurav Singh. William Sloan, cum laude. Alexis Nicole Tillery, cum laude. Stephanie Atkins Thomas, who will be hooded by the Honorable Terrence Keith, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Jasmine Elizabeth Truly, who will be hooded by the Honorable Terrence Keith, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Paulus T. Toma, who will be hooded by his sister Tina Toma, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. John R. Tucker, Jr. Madison Page Tuscany, cum laude. Cassie Weck 1, summa cum laude. Ian Winston Wendrow, magna cum laude. Benjamin John Wiegand. Brooke Christine Wilkie, magna cum laude. Nathan John Woodwaski, cum laude, who will be hooded by James Mellon, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. And now the candidates for the dual University of Detroit Mercy Juris Doctor and University of Windsor Juris Doctor degree. Jamil Amr, cum laude. Angshay Aurora. Danya Asif, cum laude. Fatima Bata. Trisha Marie Ann Bautista. Gabrielle Michaela Ann Bain, magna cum laude, who will be hooded by Michael Desi, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Tiara Melissa Ann Beaton. Mackenzie Bennett Banks. Mohammed Shuryar Bati. Zlata Bishev, cum laude. Michael Taylor Brown, cum laude. Catherine Anna Marie Burrows. Lara Kashera, who will be hooded by Andrew Lane, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Quinn Wesley Chamberlain. Jared Michael Colthurst, magna cum laude. Gus D'Amico. Evelyn Ann Dentelbeck. Mariama Kindi Diallo, cum laude, who will be hooded by Professor Kara Cunningham Warren, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Argavan Eftekari. Bara El Najjar. Rabia Fatima, cum laude. William Constantine George. Aliyah Asma Gani. Michelle Mary Hubin. Irina Hook. Bailey Victoria Elizabeth Houston. Sydney Kinsky Hudabarat, cum laude. Anush Iqbal. Joshua John Engel Isley, summa cum laude, who will be hooded by Michael Desi, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Subeg Singh Jassi. Marco Magnante, cum laude. Ronnie Malka. Mohammed Mani. Martin Antonio Miuja, cum laude. Madison Ruby Murdoch. Maxim Lawrence Eric Mouche, who will be hooded by Elizabeth Mouche, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Sukriti Singh Nagbal. Catherine G. Nairn. Selena Nathu, magna cum laude. Alexandra Gloria Rose Nachek de Bartolomeo. Mariana Odisho. Aliza Rahman, magna cum laude. Margaret Mary Rice. Naomi Peralta Richardson, cum laude. Tennille Ashley Russell. Rashminder Kaur Sandhu, cum laude. Nachkit Survaya. Oketa Satri. Varesh Silochan. Matthew Anthony Sergei. Megan Sainanasab. Rashali Shah, cum laude, who will be hooded by Professor Kara Cunningham Warren, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Khadija Shamisa, cum laude. Tanner W. Shaw, magna cum laude. Gurjot Kaur Sunner. Howlin Tong. Yen Tong. Sienna Eileen Usiletti, who will be hooded by her brother, Dante Usiletti, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Austin Mikhail Vanderbert. Alexandra Ryan Willert. Somalia Shonda Williams, who will be hooded by the Honorable Terrence Keith, a Detroit Mercy Law graduate. Cami Yang, magna cum laude. The candidate for the Joint University of Detroit Mercy Juris Doctor and Master of Business Administration degree, Joseph Jerome Manuzak.
Candidates for the Juris Doctor degree, please stand.
By virtue of the authority vested in me, I confer upon you the degree of Juris Doctor, and now pronounce you sons and daughters of the University of Detroit Mercy forever. Congratulations, class of 2025.
Congratulations to all our graduates. You may be seated. In just a moment, President Taylor will present the Student Mission Leadership Award. The Vivera Ex Missione Award, which means to live the mission, is presented to students who go beyond their academic and program requirements to live out the mission of Detroit Mercy. Every year, members of the university community are invited to recommend graduating students who exemplify the mission of the university. by demonstrating the following core values: education of the whole person, service that leads to justice, recognition of the sacred in all, and building a community of inclusivity. These students embody what St. Ignatius described as love shown more in deeds than words. A mission lamp is presented to the winners of the Vivere Ex Missione Award to honor students who have fulfilled the call of Catherine Macaulay, founder of the Sisters of Mercy, who said, "We should be shining lamps giving light to all around us."
If there is an event at Detroit Mercy Law, you can be sure Cassie Weck Woon will not just be there, she probably helped plan it. In moot court, she's usually on the winning side, earning honors for her legal briefs and has passed on her skills to others as a coach and a mentor. She worked behind the scenes to improve the law review, helping its executive board set goals and work together and more efficiently. In classes, she created game show type reviews to help other students understand the concepts more fully. She participated in 3 semester-long clinics, all focused on increasing access to justice, and many clinics at the Pope Francis Center, where she helped provide direct services to those in need. She is a regular volunteer, working with the underserved and for environmental causes. Deeply faithful, Cassie restarted the St. Thomas More Society at Detroit Mercy Law, which promotes Catholic values and the ethical practice of law. For her leadership in the law and the fight for justice and her faith, University of Detroit Mercy is proud to present Cassie Weck Woon with the 2025 Detroit Mercy Law Vivere Ex Missione Award. Catherine, would you please come to the stage?
Thank you, Dr. Taylor, and congratulations, Cassie. Each year, the graduating class selects a student to lead the University of Detroit Mercy School of Law graduates in the prayer inspired by St. Thomas More. This year, the class of 2025 has selected Hunter Browski. Graduates, you will find this prayer in the scroll you just received. Please stand.
My fellow graduates, let us recite together the words inspired by St. Thomas More. Please repeat after me. Lord, grant that I may be able in argument, accurate in analysis, strict in study, and honest with adversaries. Sit with me at my desk and listen with me to my clients' plaints. Read with me in my library and stand beside me in court, so that today I shall not, in order to win a point, lose my soul.
Graduates, please be seated. Each year, the graduating class selects a student to deliver remarks on behalf of their class. First, we will hear from Maya Morani, selected by the USJD class of 2025.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am incredibly honored to be standing before you today representing the University of Detroit Mercy School of Law, class of 2025. I wish I had time to greet everyone properly, but I've only got about 3 minutes, so let's make them count. Before anything else, I do, however, need to take a moment to recognize two very important people, my mom and my dad. They came to this country as immigrants from Lebanon with nothing but a dream and gave me everything I could ever dream of. They worked tirelessly, sacrificed quietly, yet still managed to support loudly. I owe every bit of my success to my parents, so I had to make time to thank them. Not just because they're the reason I'm standing here today, with the smile I wear, the mind I carry, and the heart I lead with, but also because they're my ride home, and if I don't mention them, it's going to be a long car ride. Now, think back with me for a second. What do I wear? Where do I park? Who do I sit by? Where is my classroom? Do I bring a backpack? These were the questions that flooded our minds on our first day of law school. Questions that now seem so small compared to the ones we've learned to ask. But before we ever opened our first casebook, we learned our very first legal lesson from our professors. And that is that the answer to almost every question in law is, it depends. I was asked to come up here and speak on behalf of our USJD class to summarize what this law school experience has meant. But how do you capture something so personal, so intense, so transformative in one single speech? Well, it depends. Were you the student who sat front row and never missed a class, highlighter in hand? Or were you the one who used all 4 absences with strategic precision for a much-needed trip? Did you grind through work and school at the same time, juggling deadlines and dreams? Did you find your place in law review, moot court, student orgs, or find peace in just surviving? Were you in section 1, where we like to think we were the cooler section? Or section 2, humorously rolling your eyes every time we said that? It really all just depends. But here's my point. Even though our paths here were wildly different, our destination is the same. Whether you sprinted, stumbled, or crawled, you did it. We did it. And we did it together. And now, as we stand at the edge of this next chapter, the questions return. Some of them sound familiar. What do I wear? Where do I park? But others are brand new. Where's my courtroom? What's my billing rate? And do I bring a backpack or briefcase or both? And somewhere along the way, it depends stopped being just a legal answer and started becoming a human one. Because when things got hard, and they did, we didn't just depend on the law. We depended on each other. We depended on classmates who reminded us who we were when we almost forgot, and on professors who pushed us further than we ever thought we could go. We even depended on quiet glances of solidarity across the classroom when a student got cold called, or when Professor McLeod made one of his jokes, or when Professor Trudeau dropped a pun. And maybe that's the real lesson our professors were trying to plant in our brains on the first day with that deceptively simple phrase. That in a world full of uncertainty, we won't have every answer, but we will always have, it depends. And now, it doesn't just depend on the facts or the case law anymore. It depends on us, on our grit, our integrity, our community, and on what we choose to do with all that we've learned. We've learned to navigate the uncertainty, and now, the answer of it depends doesn't scare us anymore. Rather, we embrace it. We even use it. So, to the class of 2025, whether you leave here to advocate, negotiate, litigate, or finally just hibernate, the question remains, where do we go from here? Well, our professors were right from day one because honestly, it depends. Congratulations, Detroit Mercy School of Law, class of 2025. We did it.
Next, we will hear from Jared Colthurst, selected by the dual JD class of 2025.
Good afternoon, faculty, family, friends, and the incredible class of 2025. When I was asked to capture the dual JD experience in 3 minutes, I realized it was no easy task. How do you put together in words a journey that spans 3 years, 2 countries, and 2 legal traditions? Maybe you start by acknowledging where we began. For many of us, this was the Greater Toronto Area. For others, it was as far west as British Columbia or as far east as Quebec. Now, we also arrived with different weights on our shoulders. Some began law school at 21, fresh out of undergrad. Others started with families, kids, earlier careers, in the knowledge that every decision affected more than just ourselves. In that way, our experiences are deeply personal. But from the start, what connected us was bigger than geography and it was bigger than experience. It was the shared willingness to take on something bold and to say, I'm all in. From the very beginning, we leaned on one another. I think back to border crossing day in 2022. We piled into cars, total strangers, to cross an international border. It felt like the beginning of a road trip with your friends, except we had no idea who was in our backseat. We were excited, a little nervous, and probably wondering, what have we gotten ourselves into? Now that was just the beginning, because over the next 3 years, we overcame a unique set of challenges. We juggled Canadian contracts in the morning and American constitutional law in the afternoon. We drafted Canadian factums and American briefs, all while trying to not get the citation rules mixed up. And of course, we had the unique joy, I should say, of writing 2 exams for each of our courses. We never did it alone. We walked this journey together as peers, colleagues, and as friends. 1 class, 1 team, and 1 community. As we leave law school, we once again step into the unknown. But this time we do so equipped with the tools to tackle whatever comes our way. So to our professors and faculty, thank you for challenging us to think critically and to care deeply. To our families and to our loved ones, thank you for being our foundation. Your unwavering support has made this journey possible. And to my fellow graduates, thank you for being a part of a community that made this experience unforgettable. What we've done here is extraordinary, but it is not the finish line. What comes next for all of us will be even bigger. So let's stay sharp, let's stay bold, and let's stay active. The work is just getting started. Congratulations, class of 2025. We didn't just cross borders, we accomplished something significant on both sides. Thank you.
Thank you, Maya and Jared. I invite Kristen Fernandez, class of 2019, and president of the School of Law's Alumni Association, to welcome today's graduates as alumni of the School of Law and University of Detroit Mercy.
Good afternoon to our university leaders, esteemed professors and faculty, graduates, family, and friends. My name is Kristen Fernandez. I'm a proud member of class of 2019, and I have the honor of serving as the president of the Alumni Association. I also want to recognize the Association of Black Law Alumni, the ABLA, a wonderful and supportive network led by fellow president Jessica Holmes. Together, the Alumni Association and the ABLA welcome you to our alumni community. Speaking to our graduates, it's a true honor to stand before you today to acknowledge and celebrate this monumental achievement, your graduation from law school. Thank you for allowing me to celebrate with you. Law school takes you and it shapes you. During your time at Detroit Mercy Law, you've been tested intellectually, pushed to your limits, and stretched emotionally. There is no doubt that you've spent countless hours studying statutes, dissecting case law, and honing your legal writing, research, and reasoning skills. This experience has helped you grow, not just as future attorneys, but as individuals who are wholly committed to justice, fairness, and integrity. Today, you are not just recognized as graduates of this law school, but as distinguished Detroit Mercy alumni. And in this moment, you become part of an alumni network that is dedicated to each of your personal successes and the success of our law school. Now, as you face the world as a new lawyer, know that you're not alone. You step into this chapter of life part of a much larger legal community of Detroit Mercy Law alumni. One of the most important roles as a seasoned alumni is for us to support you as our new alumni, to welcome you and include you in our community. Our hope is that you will join us and in turn support, mentor, and fundraise for our law students in the future. We welcome and challenge you to serve as a mentor for a 1L student as part of our mentorship program, as we know that you have much to offer the next generation of Detroit Mercy lawyers. Now, as we turn to the immediate future, and for those of you who are preparing for the bar exam, stay focused and be determined. Make sure that you schedule adequate time to study, but also take time for yourself to rest and recharge. It is a balance. I advise that you block out your study time, complete many, many practice questions, never be afraid to ask for help, and know that you can pass this beast of a test. And even if it's not on your first try, you can and you will do this. The law school has wonderful resources to support you on your journey, so please do not suffer in silence. We all know that our world is vast and ever-changing, and the legal landscape is no different. It is constantly evolving and presenting new challenges, new questions, new problems, and new opportunities for us to rise to meet. Whether you decide to practice in the courtroom, in the boardroom, or in the classroom, whether you take roles in public service or the private sector, rest assured that your Detroit Mercy legal education has given you the tools that you will need to think critically, act ethically, and advocate for justice for all people. It is the Detroit Mercy way, and I would argue it's more important now than ever. Each of you earned your way to this day, your graduation. And as cliche as it may sound, you truly can accomplish anything you set your sights on, and let today be evidence of that. Before I forget, as a welcome for our graduates, there's a small gift under your chair from the alumni, so don't forget it. Now, with that said, again, huge congratulations to the class of 2025. I warmly welcome each of you as Detroit Mercy alumni. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and go in kindness.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you all for celebrating the class of 2025 with us. This concludes the 2025 University of Detroit Mercy School of Law commencement ceremony. The recessional will be led by the President, the Dean of the School of Law, trustees and vice presidents of the university, and our distinguished alumni. The faculty and administration of the School of Law are asked to follow. The 2025 graduates follow the faculty marshals. Please remain seated until all of the graduates leave Calihan Hall.